Hey cutie, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be showing y'all today how I did these beautiful faux locks on my beautiful auntie, so keep watching. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for this style, I use pre-made faux locks in the colors 1B and 2T1B/30. Then to wrap the hair, I use freetress water wave in the colors 1B and TT30, and then Cuban twist hair for thickness in the color 2. Then for prep work, I went ahead and took all my hair, opened it all up the packages, and unraveled it completely, and I placed them all on my braiding rack. Now this rack is super helpful for streamlining your time, especially on an appointment like this where things can get pretty lengthy. Having all your materials just laid out in a way that you can easily reach them is very helpful on making sure that you're there and get done in a timely fashion. Then I go ahead and take the locks. They all have loops on them, so I open loops a little bit larger. I place them in my rack. This helps me make sure that I know how many locks I have left, and also just make sure that I have them in a neat area because they're pretty long. Now this is my beautiful model, my aunt. She has straight hair with highlights. In the gel, when I tell you my favorite part is like scooping it out, I love that part. I have to go ahead and put my shiny gem on my wristband. We're gonna go ahead and move her hair up, put it in a ponytail, and start at the nape. I go ahead and smooth everything up with some gel, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on our first part. My favorite thing to do is to place it right above the ear to make sure that our first 2 rows are not halfway through the ear. Pro tip, part in sections. If you cannot get one straight clean part, if you part it in sections, you have more control, and you can make sure that that first go is a lot cleaner than multiple retouches. I smooth it with gel. Cleaning it up always looks like this. Do it as many times as you need to until you're comfortable, and then it's ready to be sectioned again. Now for this process, we went ahead and did medium to large parts, so her bottom 2 rows are going to be pretty big. I split the initial section in half, and now I have my first 2 rows. Now, because these locks can get pretty heavy, even though they are lightweight, we want to make sure that she has sufficient boxes. So her boxes are going to be pretty large. We split down the middle, and then we're going to split those 2 sections down the middle as well to make sure that we have 4 even sections. Everything that you've been waiting for, just say I do, because I then take a little bit of gel, smooth each section, and braid it down. Because her hair is perm, I like to braid down a little bit farther than I would normally. It's looking pretty good. Check to make sure that the width is looking good. Again, going in with very small movements to make sure that you have a very even thickness. Clean up when you need to. Then I like to go ahead and check the middle of the part to make sure that it's even. If it's even with the row before, you're on the right track, okay? When parting hair on other people, I like to go ahead and make that one part for the side piece right above the ear to ensure that those 2 braids that are on top of it fall on either side rather than directly over the ear. Braid that down, y'all. I don't braid this fast. This is sped up, of course. Smooth it, and we're just gonna keep going. It looks good, super duper clean, and you know, this is doable. You can do it. Now for her front pieces, it's always different for every person. Everyone's head is different, especially because it is like a sphere. So I do this in curved parts. I don't really pre-part, I just kind of go row by row. I'm just trying to get a very even row, keeping in mind that her head is spherical. So I go in small sections, and I'm just checking throughout to make sure that it looks pretty even from the other side. You go in and you just keep doing that, clean up, take as much time as you need to. Now for her front pieces, because she did not want a whole bunch of locks, and also she didn't want there to be a lot of weight, we did these boxes a little bigger than the other ones, but it still looked really good at the end. Now, my preferences is I don't like a middle part straight back. Like I don't like a middle part from someone's hairline to the back of their head. So I always do a braid or a section that sits right at the end of that middle part at the top of the head. So what you're seeing me now do is make that triangle that'll sit right there to kind of close off and give a sense of like completeness rather than giving like a middle part to like her neck, you know? We're gonna braid down. It looks beautiful, and we're just ready to start crocheting, y'all. Okay, so now it's time to start crocheting. We're gonna open that loop up on the lock as wide as you need it. Then we're gonna go ahead and crochet the hook first through the braid. I do it about 1 inch or so from the root, and this is for a special reason. We're gonna get the lock, put our fingers in the loop, hook it through, and pull the lock itself through the braid, and then we're gonna loop the lock through the loop. So we hold it there, take the clip off, then we open the loop with our fingers and loop the lock through it. This will make sure that it's secure to the braid and that we don't have to do anything extra. Now, the reason that I attached this an inch or so away from the root is to ensure that it's very flat. You know, it looks nice, it lays nicely, and it helps when we're wrapping. Now, this is the finished process. We went ahead and attached all the locks. They're super beautiful, super full. Now it's time to start wrapping. So I like to go ahead and cut it in half because we're only doing the portion of her hair that is showing. Her hair is about mid-length, so if you have longer hair, you know, of course, you don't have to cut as much. We prep the hair, fluff it a little bit. I like to go ahead and use the freetress for texture and the Cuban twist for thickness. We're gonna loop it through a little bit close to the root, again, not quite at the root, and we're gonna make it to where one side of the hair is the same length as the hair that we are wrapping. So if their natural hair is about 5 inches down, you make one side about 5 inches down. Then we're gonna initially wrap upwards, and then we're gonna begin to wrap downwards. You don't want it to be too thick. It's gonna be secure, so you don't have to worry about wrapping it 4 or 5 times in the same spot. Wrap it a couple times to where the braid is concealed, and then begin going down. Now, adding loops is a preference thing. I like to do it because it matches the texture of the bow locks. If you don't like that, you do not have to. We're just gonna continue wrapping until you run out of hair. Initially, they are very stiff. They soften up over time. Just adjust, you know, smooth them as much as you like. And y'all, this is done. And you know, after a couple of goes, it gets a lot easier. It gets a lot more streamlined. This is our beautiful end result, but it comes to the catch, you guys. My aunt is a teacher. She's pretty active and she's pretty short, and these locks are 40 inches and she's like 5 feet tall. So we did have to cut them. And I don't know why, but I did not get the footage of me cutting them. So this is the next clip. We did about mid back length, long enough for her to put it in a ponytail and put it in an updo and a bun. I went ahead and did a couple of final touches to make sure that it was very even. Y'all already know foam is the best part of a style, especially when you got fresh braids in or locks. Now, my aunt does not care for edges. I just did it for my photos. She very much likes them to be inside, so I put them as much inside as I possibly could. And this is the final result. It looks so beautiful. She loved it. I loved it. Now, if you follow all to the very end, I hope that you have fun doing this style on yourself, and peace.